Hey guys, welcome back to week 2 of our
Hey guys, welcome back to our faith series. It's week 2. This week we're gonna tackle how to deal with being the only Christian in your friend group. Jess couldn't say that for the life of her, like the last 3 chances, and sometimes you gotta just say it.
Anyways, okay, so Tyler will start, and we'll kind of start with our situations in high school and then navigating to where we are now.
Yeah, so in high school, all of my friends and myself, we always kind of stated like we believed in God, but we never really went to church. I went to church when I was a kid with my mom all the time, every Sunday, and then once my parents got divorced, we didn't really have a church that we went to consistently.
For me in high school, you guys already know my testimony, so I was obviously going to church all the time. As for my friends, none of them were, I guess it's kind of the same boat. You know, I didn't really have any friends who consistently practiced Christianity. You guys know that I was like a rebellious kid, so yeah, like I believed God and still loved God, but like I guess my actions just didn't really show it, so I kind of just became and blended in with them more than I would have like with church goers and like the super Christian kids at my school. So you went to Christian college, so that's kind of a different like turn for you.
Yeah, and then I went to a Christian college, and when I got there, like I already knew like I believed in God, but I didn't really know who Jesus really was, like as far as having an intimate relationship with him. And then once I started to experience that, and I was surrounded with a bunch of friends, who are still some of my best friends to this day.
They're all your groomsmen, so
yeah,
literally
half of my
friends.
groomsmen were from my college, and but yeah, we're all strong believers. It really kept you strong and kept you protected in like the spirit, in the sense of walking your walk with Christ. And if you made mistakes, it was easy to get back on track because you were surrounded with people who supported you.
And you guys already know my college experience, so so we'll just fast forward to post college when we moved back to our hometown. And
so when we moved back, I met Jess, and once I met her, I realized that, or I found out that she was a Christian as well, and she was a believer, and so it was cool. But at the point that I met her, I was actually had fallen back in my old ways a little bit, because once I moved back home, my friends weren't like my college friends at the time, and they were my best friends back home, so I still wanted to hang out with them and doing a ton of stuff with them. So we would go out and party and do whatever, and kind of fall into old habits, bad habits. Once Jess and I started dating, we kind of started...
Well, we realized we were both in the same boat.
Yeah.
We both grew up Christian, wanted that accountability and that faith and that relationship with God, but like could never find it because obviously none of our friends believed and in that,
in the same
capacity.
Oh my gosh, we said at the same time.
Oh my god, we're equally yoked.
Oh my gosh.
So it was really great having him, and so we started going to church together. Once we were seriously dating, we started making decisions that would kind of put us in a better place in our faith. And one of them was I just wanted to stop drinking entirely. I had drank so much in college and high school, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go through with this cleanse and kind of see where I come out of it. And simultaneously, me and Tyler decided like we're just gonna wait till marriage and save the naughty stuff for later. And
just talking about sex.
And at first I thought that I would have gotten a little bit more support from my friends, just because like they're kind of more nobler things to do, or just like things that are not of societal's norms. And
can you explain that a little bit?
What
do you mean by that? Those norms?
Just like like deciding to give up drinking, like people would be like, why would you do that, and giving up sex and stuff, it's like, why? People, they're just like, they just thought it was really dumb. And so it did make it hard, and they would make fun of us. They would always like kind of throw us under, or just try to throw us off track, be like, oh no, come on, like just wondering like what's that gonna do, blah blah blah. They never saw it through our point of view and like the bigger picture and why we were doing it, nor did I think they really wanted to understand either. So it was hard, and so me and Tyler kind of walked alone for a long time. It was just hard to share our faith with people who didn't care to hear about it, in a sense. But I think, so my best friend Sean became Tyler's best friend, and I mean, Tyler can speak on this way more than I can because, you know, it was a lot of dude talk, but...
Dude talk. Basically, Sean wasn't a believer, and...
He was like the
Sean
number
was
one, like, biggest hater.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, close to it. He'd always challenge me of kind of like why I believed in God and why I had a relationship with him, the reasons why Jess and I made the decisions we did for our life. And so I told him and basically backed it up with my experiences of like what God has done in my life and the people I've met and my experiences that I've overcome with him. But nonetheless, it was just, you know, probably like 2 years or so of distance battle between Sean and I. Very friendly battle, like nothing personal. But I always just prayed for him and kind of just shared with him. Never forced it on him. I invited him to church. Jess and I would invite him to church a few times. Like, he wouldn't want to go, but we never stopped.
He quickly became our biggest project for the year and a half.
And what do you know? He
is
recently,
now number one.
Yeah, pretty recently, within the last year now, I would say, he's grown up to be a very firm believer.
Firm believer. Fired up about God.
And that's
so
something that he can attest to that. And
what it was that helped a lot of our friends, because now I would say almost all of them are Christian. All of them go to church with us, is just setting an example. I think just when you become a Christian and when you have faith, the way you approach life, like your outlook, how you deal with really tough situations, it's a different approach. And I guess a lot of people saw like a huge change in our behavior and how we handled situations, and that was like a big reason why people were like, how do you have so much peace with such a crappy situation? Or, you know, how did you get through it? Because normally, like anyone else, we would just be really mad, why me, this is dumb, and just be really bitter about things.
But we still had our struggles, where we're not perfect people.
Right, of course.
We still acted in ways we should never have, but
we never wanted to force our friends, though.
Yeah,
you know? That's the one thing. You can't force this stuff on people. You can't force people
to believe in what you believe. Everyone's going to believe in what they believe at the end of the day, but it's up to you to take the leap of faith and invite people to do what you do. And
I feel like the biggest reason why people start wanting to explore faith is because they see a change in you. It's not that you're particularly doing anything, it's the change in your behavior, and they see that you are glowing. We see our friends now that we've brought to Christ, and they are glowing individuals. Like, I can't even explain it.
It's pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
because
you get so much fun.
You get to see the growth in them from who they were and how they are now, and that's a fun part of it too. Even with ourselves, like we can see like who we were then and where we are at now, and the growth that we've had in our own life too.
Yeah.
And again, it's not that we're perfect by any means. Like, we still mess up to this day, but it's about being surrounded and being grounded by the people you love, and they support you. And once you get to that point and you get back on track and you just keep going, that's the thing when it comes to you being there for your friends who aren't believers, is that once they are experiencing tough times or whatever, you can be the rock for them and you can help them. Even good times, the same thing. It's, hey, cool, like, hey, you want to come with me to church? Or if they say no, okay, cool, maybe next week or something too.
It's all about seed planting, for sure.
Don't get upset. Don't get angry when some people say no, because they're probably going to say no 90% of the time.
There's a stat where someone, if they are very against something, they need to be asked 28 times before they will say yes or like be open to it. So you know, even if you're only on your 12th time and you're losing hope, you're not even halfway there yet. So you just gotta keep asking.
So I got 16 more times to ask.
Oh, you counted correctly.
I actually, it was like in my head, I'm like 17, no, 16.
But yeah, and so, I mean, it's having our friends become Christians and being able to do life group with them and go to church with them. Not only have we helped them, but they have helped us in return, like, abundantly, because every person's walk is so different, and their views and their experiences are so different. So what I may have experienced that they haven't, it's like the same vice versa. And so I get to see God and Jesus through like a whole new perspective and like outlook through someone else who has completely experienced life differently. And I think that's why it's such a beautiful thing, because it's a never-ending journey of like, oh my God, God works so faithfully through so many different people so differently, all at the same time. And your walk should never be done alone. You like having that accountability and having that group of friends is the most important, because my friends are the reason why I'm a better person today, because we all keep each other accountable. And it's never out of fear or out of judgment. It's like our safe zone. You know, I can really open up and just be like, look, like I suck at this. And I went through a really intense, not trial and tribulation, but really intense like situation this week that really tested my faith. I'm not gonna go into it. That can be a story for like another day. But I think collectively together, it was only a matter of 20 hours. I was able to change my mindset, come to this conclusion, and push myself out of my comfort zone to like make a decision and do and act upon whatever this whole thing was. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without them, because it's like if I let myself down, it's not just me, like I let a whole team down, you know? So it really motivates me to want to focus on the things that I would usually, even as a Christian, just push to the side because like I just don't want to deal with it. So yeah, it's been life-changing for sure. If you are the only holy roller in your group, there is hope, because trust me, we have been through there and look at us now.
I think my best advice to anyone that's experiencing that is just support them and where they're at in their life.
Yep.
Can never discredit someone for what they're doing and how they're doing things. Even if you don't agree with what they're doing, it's, you know, there's a saying, it says, hate the sin, not the sinner. So, you know, don't look at them differently. It's, and that will help you kind of have the perception and perspective of just support them and pray for them and love them. And we're willing at some point they'll have that opportunity to see and experience what you may do, what you may be doing and whatnot. So.
Yeah. You know, just have grace on your friends. You got to remember that you were once where they were in that spot. And I know sometimes when you're on this like uphill climb and you're fired up, you want everyone to feel what you feel, and they don't. And sometimes it could turn into animosity, because you're just like, dude, this is such a great thing. How do you not see it? And why are you not grasping it the way I do? But you got to remember, like, they are there where you were years ago. And so, you know, just show them grace and just
be patient.
Be patient with them and be the light for them. You know, like my favorite Bible verse, like you are the light for them. So hopefully this helps you guys. It was a really great topic. Honestly, I was really pleased with this recommendation to talk about. I think it's just good, because a lot of people are in that same position, and a lot of them are scared to talk about it with their friends because they don't want to be shunned or judged or anything. So stay tuned till next week, and we will have numero tres.
Yeah, 3, not 6.
3. Okay, bye. Mwah.